I don't know why people are so mentally challenged when it comes to certain things of firearms nature, but they are conquest large, as what I need right about now. Now, one of the things that I'm going to be trying out on here that I'm going to try to do, if this thing ever actually loads, I'm going to take the M16 on this game. I'm going to flip the selector to single shot. I'm going to try and run around to use that. Now the actual damage to, or the actual death, the amount of hits and all the other stuff in this game is not at all realistic, but it's pretty close. I mean, in this game you can literally shoot someone in the head like once or twice and they won't die, so it's not the best. But it is a close facsimile. So I'm gonna go with this for a while. See how long it takes this shit to load. Holy crap. It's not at all quick. I mean, yeah, I guess it doesn't really matter what it is, but I kind of like it. 416 carbines also kind of nice. But I'm not gonna use that. Where is she? Oh wait, that's a 416. So never mind. There she is. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna use. Technically, the ones he had a scope and a bipod. Only one of the rifles he had actually had a bump stock out of like all the however many rifles it was he had. Only one of them was actually equipped with a bump stock, and that was the one he was spraying out the window with. Single, let's do. Oh, I'm turning the lag real bad. I felt frame rate drop. Oh, there's a motherfucker with a 416. Yep. Told you that thing was good. That thing kills people so fast. I have a feeling it's just because it's an HK game. There are certain guns that are just outright favorites. Only had to bipod his thing. Oh, there's a med pack in here. Oh, helpful. Oh, someone just dropped the medic bag on me. Pizza. I'm just gonna borrow this flashbang. This thing is amazing though. It's like a Black Ops Tomahawk. This thing, if you're lucky and you accidentally hit someone with it, it'll actually instantly kill them. I don't know why really it does that, but it does. I guess it's the equivalent of getting hit with a grenade. Is that something like it? I don't know. Hey, I got grenades. Don't know why I got so many grenades, but alright. Well, fuck you and your 416. Huh. I see he's a level 43. He probably just got that gun because it literally has no attachments of any kind on it. And there's actually a weird thing in this game where once you get a gun, it kind of works better. Don't know why. Don't know why at all, but same way, like with shotguns, are like a one-hit kill, a lot closer than what they normally are. And then after you used them like 1,000 times, and then all of a sudden you start getting hit markers with them at close range. A whole bunch of crazy nonsense. Oh, motherfucker. That's the annoying thing about this game. People hide so that we can only see their head. It takes so long to get to them. I accidentally pushed the wrong button, sorry.
Heads up! Enemy sniper west of your position! Objective Bravo is neutralized. We have Objective Bravo now.
Damn it. The funny thing is that if you get a nice trigger, you can actually fire one of these pretty fast anyway. I'm not talking about the game, I'm talking about an actual. Yeah, my friend had one, and one went out to the creek. Had a lot of fun with these things. And if you have your own, you can actually get special types of sandpaper and smooth some of the surfaces on the trigger and hammered glue, as well as the sear, and actually get these to where they fire off pretty fast. Goodbye, sir. Get your ass out of the dirt. Alright, take that. Oh, fuck you, Glock faggot. There's one thing in this game that irritates me. It's the Glock 18. For those of you that are not aware, the Glock 18 is the automatic Glock. That literally comes from the factory in full auto and everything else. It's an annoying piece of shit. Now in this game, the way in which someone is either alive or dead is determined by hit points. Each bullet and each gun has like its own type of hit points. A certain bullet fired out of a certain gun will have so many. Oh, you motherfucker. I just got hit by a sniper and then that dude just finished me off. There's another thing I hate about this game is it doesn't tell you how many bullets you ate. Like if there was one from this, two from that, 3 or 4 from this other thing. Holy crap, that guy is sucking it real bad right there. Okay, motherfucker. Words I can't say right now. You know what surge is? Oh man, let me just... Oh shit, I bounce back in here. That was a drone just flew past my head. Again. I hate it when everyone just tries to all pile through one area. See this mover right here, he's going around. Although usually I hear there's a sniper somewhere. I'd rather have a semi-auto CZ. It's kind of like the M16. It's got the same barrel length, same caliber. For some reason, this game it just does more damage. I don't know what it is. Maybe the barrel's longer or something. Actually, in this game, for some reason, short barrels seem to do more damage. Actually, short barrels decrease the velocity of a bullet, but I mean, it probably didn't. Let me just show you. Oh, motherfucker. Oh, apparently I did get it. I did blow the claymore down, guys. Yeah, that's where he was. It's supposed to be for vehicles, but people in this game sometimes use them on other people. Because people in this game are not confined to reality in any way. It's just kind of annoying. By the way, something that the news kind of forgets to mention is that a lot of the rifles were actually set up like hunting rifles, in that they had large magnification scopes on them and had bipods. How is SYR1 at the top of the team over here? He's only a level 2, what the hell? Unless he just got on our team and they switched him, which happens sometimes, but it's... Eh. But, Now it's time for the one that I actually like. This one, yeah. This one's the CZ Czechoslovakia. Woohoo! Actually, you know what? No, I need to fix that right there. I do not like that at all. You know what? I'm gonna put a bipod on here. Find my nice giant scope. Wrong button. Whoops. Yeah, this thing right here. And a heavy barrel, that'd be nice. Canted iron sights, yes sir. For those hard to reach places. See, that's what I was talking about. Hidden twice in the head, doesn't die. Only does 91 hit points, but it's whatever. Like 92 hit points, I'm looking. Alright, there's blueberries coming from the outside, alright.
Objective Alpha.
Although there is one thing that automatic does tend to do with guns, or bonfire, whatever you call it, it does tend to waste bullets real quick. Real quick. And it's actually one of the things they talk about in certain training courses for certain groups of people.
Вражеского солдата!
71% assist, alright, I'll take that. This thing does not have very strong damage for some reason. It's a lot more helpful at close quarters and automatic.
Objective Delta neutralized.
I think I know how to fix this. See the sword. Oh, I don't have any more flashes. Never mind. That will not fix that. Let's see, there's another guy coming on one.
Objective Delta is now under our control.
I mean, the funny thing is people are freaking out about what happened, but I mean, killing people is already illegal. I mean, anything you do after that's basically a preventative measure, which isn't really gonna do that much. There isn't really a fine line of, oh, it's too hard now, darn, I'll just not try. There's always gonna be someone who wants to do something, and no one's really gonna be able to stop them. It's a fact of life, no matter how unpleasant it is. Where? Oh, where are these people? Normally the smart ones try to walk outside and go around a long ways, but you know, we've been holding T for a while. You would think that someone at B would just pop out here and walk that way, but you know, no one's really going for it. I don't know why. Oh, is there someone over here? Hmm. Oh, I know what I could do to get pretty close. I know what I can do. I know what I can do. I'm gonna go over here and you're gonna shut the fuck up about it. I'm just gonna 3, 2, 1. Ugh. Yeah, where is it? This thing, yeah. Semi-auto and full. Alright, I can use this one. Yeah, this puppy right here. This is basically a giant freaking AR with a gas tube on the side instead of on the front where it normally is, but that's a minor difference. Not to be concerned. No need to be concerned, I should say. I'm just gonna... What? I don't have canted iron sights on this piece of giant? Yeah, it's an iron. I have an ACOG, but I don't like the... I actually like the 3.4 better. Yeah, nice heavy barrel. Let's see, what is this? Yeah, that's the thing I was complaining about earlier. Yeah, bipod. Oh yeah. We're ready. Yeah, CZ, because it's awesome. That switches to the single shot. I've done this, I think, 3 or 4 times now. Oh wait, what am I doing sticking my head out like that? I have a shield. Why am I afraid? I'm going to get up on this fucking cliff and you're gonna shut the fuck up. That's right, you better hide like a bitch. Ooh, blue hit marker, that means I got him in the face. Oh, you fucking DMR slut. Those are those long range semi-auto rifles that only fags use in this game. Yeah, that's what that is. What I always thought was funny is that the people tried to say that dude was like some kind of like a crazy neo-Nazi, whatever. That dude has actually been a registered Democrat for multiple years. It wasn't just like all of a sudden he changes. He's been like that for very. Wait, did you kill that guy? Because if you didn't, I don't know where the fuck he is.
Hey, soldier, where are you going?
Oh yeah, it is. Alright, I'll take an assist for that, I guess. Goodbye. Oh, it's inside the building. Never mind.
Солдата вижу! Вражеского! An enemy soldier east of your current position.
There's another one down there, be careful, unless you ran inside the building. Oh, it's white. Snow is messing with my freaking eyes, man.
South of your location. Yes, machine gunner south of your current position.
Ooh. Where are these guys at? Come on. This is the one thing I love about having a really fast finger. Because I don't need nonsense. And the thing about having a really fast finger is I also save a lot of bullets. Oh, hello there, sir. Goodbye, sir. That's right, bitch, run.
Вражеского солдата вижу!
Goodbye. This gun I'm using is actually supposed to be a light machine gun, but I put a scope on it and switched the selector to semi. And I'm using it quite effectively. It's a high capacity semi-auto sniping rifle. Goodbye, sir. Oh, there's a bitch up here behind me. Yep, it's one of those Glock 18 faggots. I hate the queers that have to use the only automatic pistol in the entire game. You know what? Where is the... Yeah, like this one. This one is a higher caliber. And it is actually a lot more useful than the other one. And this is actually the normal light machine gun, which I actually run around with in semi-auto the most. And it has a nice Vepr scope on it.
We need you here! Come back, soldier!
There was a guy down there a second ago, I just saw him. Oh, hello there, sir. Yep, there's a Glock 18 faggot still over here. I'm just gonna spawn over here. Oh my god, I'm starting to lag. Whenever everything starts looking really choppy like that, it means my internet's starting to lag out. Which is pretty shitty on my internet to do. Whatever. That, and it also has to do with the fact I'm live streaming while I'm playing. Doing both at the same time kind of sucks. My internet. Oh, it was a different guy that time. I know because the thing in the bottom left corner tells me how many times I've been killed by the same person. And it says that's the first time that me and that particular person ever even met up on this game. Come on. Yeah, this place looks nice. Apparently it's out of bounds, so yeah, it's kind of annoying. But oh, hey there, sir. Last time the guy was shooting like rocket launchers and grenades up over there. I heard someone come up behind me. Is it a blueberry? Yes, it is a blueberry. Alright. Flip out over there. Motherfucker. Oh, who shot him? Where are you, motherfucker? Assist! Assist! Fuck. Oh shit. That's the person I shot a couple dozen times. I was about to say, how did I not kill him? That's the person I shot 3 times before he disappeared. Because he's got 68% health. What you were fucking laid into while I was on the rock. Alright, this is here. I'ma just go. Make sure there's no more of this annoying. Oh shit! Bye, motherfucker. I'm just gonna scoot back here for a second. I have bullets for myself, but no medical supplies. Oh, that's a parachute. Communists are coming. Goodbye, commies. Oh, and there's a freaking mortar queen. Ah, did you hear that? That was my wrist that just popped. Alright, I'm just gonna lay down right here. See how many people I can get to come over. Oh, you fucking motherfucker. I hate airburst, bitches. For those who don't know what an airburst is, it's a specially designed grenade launcher that flies and then it explodes right before it hits something, so it explodes in the air, which is why it's called an airburst. But it's basically you shoot it at an object and it explodes before it hits the object. However, sometimes it'll glitch out. and it'll try to explode before it hits something like that, and it'll explode right next to me. Because the airburst is supposed to explode when it gets around corners, clear out rooms and other stuff. So you're supposed to aim it at the far wall inside a window, and it'll explode when it enters the window. It's kind of annoying, but sometimes it'll screw up. It's basically supposed to be a better grenade launcher, but it kind of sucks at it. Both the real one and the video game one. The real one, you're supposed to point it, it'll laser range find it, and you push a button, it'll lock in that range. Then you look at where you're going to shoot, and it'll shoot and explode at the set distance. And I think there's an add and subtract button, so you can add and subtract distance. So if you want to, you can like hit the wall. It's right next to the, or I mean, you can point at the wall. That's right next to the that the window is actually made into. Hit that, and then turn the distance up by like a couple inches. Then shoot through the window, and it'll explode like a couple inches behind the wall's outer surface. And you shoot it through the window. That's how it's supposed to work. If it works or not is more or less up to the people using it, and there is no official like videos of people using it, so it's probably either alright, let's see. I have a feeling that I got kicked. Small feeling I either lost connection because it was lagging. You have lost connection to the session, yeah. I think it has to do with lag. But anywho, since I'm not playing the game, it's going to be less laggy and I can actually talk a lot more. The annoying thing is that a lot of people think because of this magic device that it made it to where he did, like, where it made it to where he could perform his acts more efficiently. But that's just a whole bunch of BS. Most of the news stations now, they will always turn a story to where it benefits them. They'll always push it in a certain direction when it's not necessarily in that direction already, and push it towards their direction to advance their own like means and whatnot. Like, there are a lot of people who will not believe that news stations do that. They're like, oh, it's a news station, they have to be honest. And I'm like, well, and it's like, whatever their political persuasion is, you just say, well, is this opposite political news station honest and truthful 100% of the time? And they're like, oh no, the people that believe that are full of shit. And it's like, well, is it not reasonable to say that all news stations are equally endowed with BS in both directions? Because you just told me it's like, oh, news stations have to be all truthful, but then you'll turn around and say that the news station you're not politically agreeing with is all wrong and that they're all liars. It's just like one of those double-edged swords, if in a way. For those of you that are not familiar with the adage of the double-edged sword, the saying is that a double-edged sword is just as likely to hurt you as it is someone else. By saying that that particular news station is not truthful and says that it could also be true of your own. I mean, it's kind of hard to explain, but I mean, if you want me to be completely honest with you, I've been around people with narcissistic tendencies and people who have sociopathic disorders. A sociopath is someone who will manipulate people around him to suit their own goals and aspirations. And when you like start to learn how they work, you can quickly learn when a news station is being honest and when they're just trying to advance their own agendas. I mean, there's actually a saying in the actual gun community: Democrats will never let a good crisis go to waste. And in many instances, that is true. They will always have the newest disaster on TV and say, oh, look what we're doing that no one else is. And the reality is, most news stations will do that. It'll be like, oh, look at this problem that's happening and we're doing something about it and no one else is. We're such nice people. And the thing is, like, one of the immediate ways you can spot the difference is someone who is a sociopath will acknowledge you of their good deed before you like thank them for it. Like if it's truly worth thanking them, you will have learned it from someone else. They don't have to tell you what they've done. If they're telling you what they have done, it's because they want you to thank them. And if someone is usually telling you that there's this like object or this big bad wolf somewhere, it's because they want you to worry. And then usually as soon as they tell you there's a big bad wolf in the world, they'll tell you exactly what you can do or try to do to get rid of it. And it's usually pass laws which are in their political persuasion. And a lot of times that's the Democratic answer. I'm like, oh, we can just pass a law, ban it, make it illegal. Then we won't have to worry about it anymore. And to be honest, other people do that too. With the Republican side of things, it's like immigration and drugs. And the Democratic side, it's kind of like mostly weapons. But, I mean, the reality is, saying that someone doesn't need it isn't the same as saying there's a reason they shouldn't have it. A lot of people think, oh, there's no reason you should have that. People think that is actually a reason to get rid of it. It's not. It means that it's a neutral item. You have to present a reason to get rid of it before it then becomes something you should get rid of. And to be completely honest with you, if you were to do whatever about bump stocks, whatever, I can get metal and objects from Orchlands and basic tools from Walmart and make a very simple automatic. It's, and you guys think I'm joking or I'm just saying this or whatever. There are PDF files you can download on your computer or whatever that shows you basically how to make like a submachine gun, whatever. And they're simple. It's literally just metal tubing and springs. So if you say that, oh, you can just ban whatever and it'll make everything like you live on Mr. Rogers' neighborhood, and somehow by making all this illegal, you're gonna be neighbors with Mr. Rogers, and then everyone's just gonna become just like in the show. I can't remember the name of the show. It's been so long since I've seen it. Won't you be my neighbor? Da da da. I can remember the song at the beginning. Won't you be my neighbor? Pretty sure it's just Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. I'm pretty sure it's just the name of it. I was thinking it'd probably be something more like unique, but I guess that is it. If you hear it clicking, it's because I'm flipping my bottle opener butterfly knife. It's a butterfly knife, but instead of having an actual like blade, it's got like a flat tip screwdriver at the very end, and it's got a whole bunch of like bottle openers. I have an actual butterfly knife somewhere. I just don't remember where the hell I put it because I don't really like it. It's the only purpose, in my opinion, is for flipping around because it's fun. I mean, the thing's really useless because I've flipped it so many times. It doesn't even have a tight handle. I mean, these things are literally just, it's like a hoodlum fidget spinner. That's what butterfly knives are. It's just something to keep your hands busy. You sit there and flip it for hours. Instead of it being a spinner, it's a flipper. It's a fidget flipper. The only difference is this thing can actually bruise your knuckles if you do it enough times. And if you're doing an actual butterfly knife and you flip it the wrong way, yeah, there's gonna be a problem. That problem is that you're going to make a pretty nice slice on your finger. If you grab a hold of the wrong handle when you're flipping a real butterfly knife, there's going to be a nice little gash across your pointer finger. And yes, that has happened to me a couple of times. I am not ashamed to admit that has happened to me. If you've ever met me, I actually have rings on my fingers. And that only has a small part to do with the fact that I used to flip butterfly knives all the time. And I much rather ruin the blade on my butterfly knife by having it hit my fingers than having my skin ruined by the blade hitting my skin. I mean, I can always fix the blade, but like, I can't like uninjure my finger for a couple days. Like, I can uninjure it; it'll heal naturally, cause that's right. Unless I accidentally cut it off. That's not actually a possibility with butterfly knives, but I mean, it's whatever. But the reality of like objects like bump stocks, bump skis, all those things. I mean, the thing about like the garden community, they always find a loophole, no matter what it is. And another thing, a lot of people think, oh, machine guns are illegal, automatics are illegal. Well, they're not. It's just all of them made after 1986. You can't own. It's an annoying thing, but all of them made after 1986 are considered post samples because in 1986 there was a Firearm Owners Protection Act, which just basically means you cannot go. It was for the cops. Basically, said if you want to look up someone's name on a master database, you cannot just go type in someone's name and get a list of all the firearms they own. That is illegal. However, California went and did that anyway, which under the Firearm Owners Protection Act is technically illegal, but it's whatever because they're not doing it with NFA items, which is a big loophole, which is another thing I was talking about earlier with the whole, they're always going to find loopholes. Excuse me. Like people in gun communities always find loopholes. Well, the California lawmakers also did that because they don't require you to make a list of your NFA items. They just require that you make a list of the fact that you own firearms at all. You own any firearms, you have to say how many firearms there are, and a whole bunch of other nonsense. It's a huge bunch of nonsense. And there was actually a video where they actually bragged about, oh, this guy, yeah, he had to go to the hospital, so he's not allowed to own guns anymore. So we went and broke into his house, and we got so many guns. Oh, we're so happy because the dude ended up having to go to the hospital. That's The whole reason they ended up getting to take his guns away. Wasn't it even anything related to a suicide or anything? It was just because like he ended up getting like depression medication or something because he went to like a therapist. And then they were actually like happy about it, like we're doing the world such a favor, and it was just kind of sickening. Like there's actually like demented people like that. I'm not sure if that actually follows with the definition of demented, but it sounds like it should. I might have to consult with my dictionary on if that is 100% adequate, but I'm pretty sure demented is has to do with like the misperception of something or misguided belief in something which causes someone to do horrible acts, if I remember right, something along those lines. I could be completely wrong and I could be thinking of something else entirely. Screw it, my phone's in my lap, I'll just ask for a definition. Unless my phone dies. Yep, it's at 1%. It's probably gonna die. Hopefully not immediately. Let's see here. What is the definition of demented?
Demented, suffering from dementia.
Well, that's not helpful at all. What is dementia?
According to Mayo Clinic, a group of thinking and social symptoms that interferes with daily functioning.
That is not at all how people normally use it. What is sociopathy?
According to Mayo Clinic, a mental health disorder characterized by disregard for other people.
Well, there's another really good one. Most news reporters show signs of having a what is referred to as the dark triad of psychological traits. I don't know if this shown is going to be aware of what that is exactly, because there's like a whole bunch of therapists that'll have like different ideas about different stuff, but I don't know if that's even like a well recognized psychological theory or not. Like a psychology kind of thing, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. Unless my phone just died. No, it just locked itself. Alright. What is the dark triad of psychological traits?
According to Wikipedia, the dark triad is a subject in psychology that focuses on 3 personality traits: narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy.
What is Machiavellianism? What is Machiavellianism?
According to Harley Therapy, Machiavellianism in psychology refers to a personality trait which sees a person so focused on their own interests they will manipulate, deceive, and exploit others to achieve their goals. Machiavellianism is one of the traits in what is called the dark triad, the other 2 being narcissism and psychopathy.
Mm. Well, we should all know that narcissism is when you're completely selfish. And is actually based off of the word Narcissus, which is a Greek god who died because he saw his own reflection and was so overcome with his own beauty that he sat there and ended up starving to death, staring at himself. And it's supposed to be one of those stories about how you shouldn't obsess over yourself because it'll kill you. Was basically like what that was supposed to be about. The whole moral of that story, and there are actually people who are obsessed with themselves. And we already did the other one, and then I just asked that one, which is the one that is the closest to what I asked. Machiavellianism. That is what you are, news anchor. Now, normally the people who are actually like on the show, the faces you see, are not the people that actually make the news story. They just say what they're told and they jazz it. They usually don't have any control over what actual news stories they cover. That's usually their producer, which determines all the stories and is usually talking to them through an earpiece. If you actually watch most of the, like if you watch most of the news stations, there's a person in their ear, and they will tell them when they have to take a break and when they have to stop talking and when they can go to another session, and they will actually yell at them in the earpiece if they say something they shouldn't on air, or if they say certain subjects they don't like being said on the news. And certain news companies have certain taboos that people aren't allowed, and some news companies will actually tell you in the contract what you're never allowed to say on air, what you're never allowed to mention on air. Like some news companies, you're never allowed to say who your boss is, who the people above you are on the news, ever. Because a lot of the people in the actual news stations, a lot of people don't like talking about it, but supposedly there's a whole bunch of things about the New World Order and a whole bunch of conspiracy hoopla. That's what a lot of people think it is, but there's also been documents, MK Ultra trials, where they actually said they did an experiment. The CIA did an experiment where they wanted to see if they could control people by manipulating what they perceived as like their news. So they did experiments where they would go in certain areas of the United States and like just take over the news stations and alter the news stories, change the wording around a bit, see if they could manipulate the masses into certain ideological think tanks, and see if they could swerve people around. It was actually you can actually go and look it up on the computer, find all the files. It's actually really interesting, and a lot of the techniques that they use are really, really weird. But some of them are actually weird and are actually extremely effective, and you wouldn't think they would. They talk about can't remember what the actual term for that is. Reverse psychology. And they talk about different techniques, but reverse psychology is one of the interesting ones. I always thought it was really, really, really interesting. All like the persuasion techniques and stuff that some people use, all the different like controlling techniques, There are actually ways you can actually control someone. Or not control someone, but like control how someone reacts to certain things. By different things like coughing, sneezing. Even if you like take a deep breath in around or saying certain words, subject, or if someone goes near a certain object, you can make a certain sound consistently, and if they don't notice you doing it on purpose, and if you don't notice, like if they don't notice that it happens every time they do whatever, every time you say whatever, then they will completely miss it, and it will actually end up affecting them later on. And as a matter of fact, there are certain things some people do. Um, Sorry, I was taking a drink. What was it called? There are certain news stations where if you actually watch like their intros, but you watch them in slow motion, there's like weird stuff. Like if the intro where everything starts flashing sometimes, and you see stuff flying past the screen. Sometimes you play in slow motion, you see a whole bunch of weird pictures of like stuff that you wouldn't expect to just be flying by the screen. Like if you have a box for recording shows, you can go onto where your news and stuff is recorded. Go to right before it starts, go to the commercial, and pause it, and then hit fast forward, and it will make like a slow motion movie. And there's also another thing you do is you can pause it and hit the right arrow key on a lot of the network boxes, and it will do frame by frame, like a slideshow. Like you can hit right and it'll go one frame over, one frame over. You just keep hitting the right arrow key and it'll just frame by frame. And I actually did that before, like, because there was one person telling me that a show on, I can't remember what the show was called, that the show had subliminal messages flash in a certain part of the movie. And I was like, nah, I don't believe it. So I went on there and I did that, and I did the frame by frame, and there was pretty freaky images flashing up on the screen. I can't remember what movie it was, though. It was one of those horror movies. I can't remember what it was called, though. But it had, like, dirty subliminal messages in it. I don't even remember what movie that was now. It's gonna bother me. It was like Scream or something like that, like one of those horror movies. Just can't remember which one it was. That's gonna drive me crazy now. Maybe it was Friday the 13th. Maybe that's what it was. But anyway, another thing that the news will do is like I told you about people who like associate things with other things. Sometimes they will tell you that there is this horrible, horrible thing in the world, and that if you listen to them, they can show you how to get rid of it. is seriously one of the oldest tricks ever. Like, there's seriously, like, back in the 1800s, people used to ride through towns and say that the next town over was, like, completely wiped out by disease, but that they have the antidote and you can buy a bottle of it for like $1 or whatever. And that if you buy the bottle and drink it, when the disease comes through, no one will get sick from it or whatever. And people are like, alright, we'll drink. Sometimes we'll even have people, like actors, come through ahead of time and tell people everything about it before they leave. Usually the salesman is going to be dressed up like a doctor, someone that you trust. And then that doctor is going to tell you that he's got the antidote for the virus that just wiped out the next town over. And then people will be convinced and they will grab the antidote to try to cure themselves of the disease. And surely enough, after they drink it and then the dude leaves, they never get sick. But it's because they were never going to get sick in the first place. Because most people are not that, like, I'm going to say intelligent enough to experiment around and test something for themselves. Everyone just likes to try and take it at face value, even though most of the time face value is whatever the person giving it to you wants you to think it is. I mean, like, the people who are good at tricking others are usually the ones who are never tricked themselves. Like, I am not that easily tricked. I'm not saying it's impossible to trick me, but I'm not easily tricked. And I am actually really good at tricking other people. I can get people to do things for me if I want them to. I know that if I phrase things with certain words and certain arrangements, if I say certain words first in my sentence before others, that it'll affect the outcome of the sentence. That if I use certain words in replacement of other words, that it will yield better results, and a whole bunch of other things. Like if you use because in your sentence, like you say, you should subscribe to my videos because I'm an awesome person. Like if you say because, even if the reason that comes after because doesn't make any sense at all, if you say because so and so, they will legitimately believe that there is actually a somewhat of a reason behind it. You do it because I told you to. Do it because I want you to do it. How about this? This is a serious note. You should subscribe to my YouTube channel because I want you to. And you know what? You don't have to do that. You don't. You don't have to do that. If you don't ever want to hear from me again, you don't. Don't ever want to hear one of my videos again, you don't have to subscribe. Don't subscribe, don't hear my opinion on things, don't do whatever. But that is a different subject for a different day that you would have to be here to hear. And sorry guys, I'm just carving a aluminum handle at the moment because I need to paint it and I want to carve it up really nice and do a certain pattern before I go forward with the painting of the handle. I want to make sure to scrape off all of the toothbrush of the anthrax before I go forward with this. Okay, here we go. That's good. I mean, you don't have to believe what I'm saying. You don't have to believe anything at all. And if you don't believe me, you could at least, hear what I have to say. And if you would like to talk to me more or hear what I have to say about other things, you can ask me. But, like, if you don't subscribe, you'll never see me reply to those issues. The reality of gun laws is that there is no gun law that will ever work. It's basically the bottom line of it. No gun law will ever be an effective law, because when people make gun laws, they don't try to control guns, they try to control violence and fear, which are two things which you will never ever be able to get rid of no matter how hard you try. There's nothing you can ever do to get rid of violence and fear. They will always find ways to attack people. Fear and violence will always be there. You just have to know how to deal with it and confront it and a bunch of other things, but those are the two main ones. But yeah, this is the end of what I had to say. This isn't the complete end yet, but it's close to the end because I am starting to drag my feet here at the end. Ah, shit, did I just accidentally cut my finger? Well, shit. That just slipped and gouged my pinky. Son of a whore. I hope I didn't get any aluminum in that. By the way, most of the time someone's actually killed with a gun, it usually has to do with a crime. Now, there are some Democrats who have supposedly gotten statistics that say it's 90 something, whatever, people a day. That is based off of a statistic that includes people killed by police officers, as well as what are classified as justified homicides. They also include suicides into that number. If you were to count just people that were straight up killed for illegal reasons that were not really justified in any way, that someone would be arrested for murder because they killed a person, those kind of things. Like something like that, like, oh, he cheated on me so I shot him, like that kind of stuff. Or, oh, he stole my drugs so I shot him. Those kind of things are considered homicide, and those are the ones that are actually counted on the other statistics. There's basically two big numbers. There's the 90, like 90 something number, and then there's the 33 number. On a average day in the United States, About 33 people every day are illegally shot in a non-justified manner. Now, like, there are a whole bunch of people who'll be like, oh, he cheated on me, that should be justified or whatever. Well, legally it's not justified, and that's what I'm referring to as the legally justified. Like, if someone's pointing a gun at you or they're pointing a gun at someone else, and you think they're going to shoot, and you shoot that person, that is classified as justified only if you live in a, but only if you live in a certain state. Because there's a whole bunch of like state bullshit in the United States about, oh, if you live in a state where they don't, what's it called? I can't remember what it's called. If they don't have a standard ground law, which means you can, because some states have a mandatory retreat law where it's like if you see some dude pointing a gun at some other person, you're basically required to run away, call the cops. And the thing about calling the cops, the 90% of a cop's job is filling out paperwork. And that's exactly what they're gonna do if someone's trying to kill you or someone else. Because by the time a cop gets there, there's gonna be nothing to do but pick up a dead body and fill out paperwork about what happened. Well, that's pretty much it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Oh, shit. That is the second time I've accidentally dropped something on this screen. Anywho, thank you guys so much for watching. I had an awesome day today. Is my pinky bleeding? Not too much. Just a little small scrape. Scared the crap out of me though, because normally when that kind of stuff happens, like when I'm carving something with a knife, the knife slips and I just feel a slice on my finger. It's usually a really, really bad slice. I guess it was because of the angle. The tip just swiped across the skin. It only broke the outer portion of it or what have you. Because normally when it does that, it's like real deep and my pinky is so skinny. If I had a deep cut, it might just cut all the way through to the bone, because I have super skinny pinkies. Don't know why. Like, my pinky is about the thickness of, well, it's a little bit skinnier than a baby carrot. I don't know how to describe it. It's thicker than, it's bigger around than like a pin, but not by much. I'd say it's about, I'd say it's pretty close to the rubber part on a pin. The part that you actually grab and write with. So it's pretty close to that rubber part. It's between the rubber portion of a pin that you grab and a baby carrot, somewhere between there. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I have to go now. And remember, huh, that's weird. Sorry, I forgot what I was gonna say, but his knife is weird. Yeah. Yeah. You guys don't have to if you don't want to, but you should, 'cause you could. Da, 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 da. Sorry, it was just singing to myself. But yeah, if you guys wanna hear what I have to say at all later, you can just sub. I would love to answer political questions that you guys have. Go ahead and ask me a question. I'll try to answer it as best as I can, as soon as I can. But thank you guys so much. And if you ever want to actually be able to see your political question video, you should sub to my channel. Is that a bang, bang, bangity bang, bang? That's what I was singing earlier. Just trying to remember when I heard that. Well, this is about it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye, guys. Alright, there doesn't seem to be any comments left from me, so I'm gonna just go. No comments. Alright. Bye, guys. Bye. This is your last chance to sub. Bye.